Good morning, Miracle Swingers. I am excited as ever to talk to you about the game of golf. I've got several things I want to hit in my opening before I get to today's video, where I'm going to be very clear about what my over-the-top golf swing is, what it feels like, and how I do it, and why it's given me more confidence than I've had in years. Very, very important stuff, because I keep having subscribers who write me and they say, I can't see it. It doesn't look over the top to me. And I think because I have a flatter swing and I'm not very tall, it's not as visible. But you look at Sam Snead, who was over 6 feet tall, and I think because he has more forward bend at the waist, you can see his little loop a little bit bigger. Ian Woosnam is short, and he's got a pretty nice OTT move. So at any rate, we're going to break that down. The first thing I want to mention is I have been remiss, because I've been working on an equipment video for a couple of months, and it's about this. I use the Jumbo Max grips now. This is the JMX XS. This is like the smallest Jumbo Max, but I first saw these at the PGA show. They gave me a couple of them. I put one on my driver, and I haven't taken it off since. And about a month ago, they sent me enough to put on all the clubs in my bag. And one of my students, Jason, had one on his lob wedge at the last intensive. And I was like, hey, man, let me check that out. And I liked it. And now I can't live without them. I'm going to give you a full review on that later. The next MSE Intensive is September 3rd and 4th. I have 1 or 2 spots left. I'd love to have you come out, learn the over-the-top golf swing in person. So that's that. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is, do you remember 10 days ago I made a video about David Ledbetter, and I talked about my greatest high school match where, as a freshman, I played against a team called Kathleen and their top player, Paul Buchanan. And he and I both tied shooting 1 under par. That was my greatest match in high school, where I overcame the biggest odds. And I really controlled myself. And that's really what golf is all about. It's self-control. And wouldn't you know it, I got an email from Paul. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. He was a senior and I was a freshman, and he was the guy who was the top guy, and I was just a little minion looking up to him. And he wrote me an email, and he's a golf professional who lives in Australia now. Can you believe that? All the way from Lakeland to Australia. And what a pleasure to get an email from him. He's like, hey, just wanted to say hi, this is Paul, blah, 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 blah. And I wrote back, I'm like, the Paul Buchanan? It's like me writing a tour star. When you're in the 9th grade and you see somebody who can hit the ball like that, it's crazy. Paul wrote me. He told me about a California golf instructor I've never heard of before, but I'm going to seek him out. Paul told me in his late 30s, when he was playing professionally, he carded a 60 and 61 while he was taking lessons with this guy. And this is like Obi-Wan Kenobi stuff. So I'm like, oh my God, I gotta check this guy out. So what a wonderful game. What a wonderful, wonderful game. It was 38 years ago that I played that round with Paul. So nuts. But that brings me into today's video, which is about golf confidence versus swing confidence. I've spent all of my swing evolution working on my swing. And I believe that there is a very important factor that if you don't have a decent golf swing, you can't begin to work on golf confidence. You have to have an action that is consistent. Now, I would say that since 2014, I've had swing confidence. And I kept going down the rabbit hole, and then I'd get off track and have to get back on track. So that's kind of a pain in the neck, but I had to do that in order to solidify my confidence in my swing. I know I can hit the golf ball now, okay? Largely due to these most recent mechanics, the over-the-top move, which has given me that confidence. But when I go to play in the skins game, those guys are all great golfers. Aesthetically, half of them have really like top-notch looking golf swings, and half of them, I think if I put them on my channel, guys might make negative comments about them because their swings are unorthodox. But I'll tell you what, every single guy out there has golf confidence. And that's what I'm trying to get to. Now, when I started my swing evolution, I wanted to break 80. I had broken 80 when I was a teenager, but the last time I did it, I was 19 years old, and I quit playing in college, and I really, kind of lost my way with the golf swing when I came back to it in my late 20s. Like, I was completely starting from scratch. But the point of it is, your demons show up at a threshold. So when I started my swing evolution, if I got anywhere close to 80, shooting under 40 2 times in a row in a round of golf, the demons would show up. And that's what we're trying to do, is conquer our demons and have self-control. Then it was a huge threshold for me to finally, it took me, several years. I was within a couple strokes of par and breaking par. And then, finally I conquered my demons at that stage. But the crazy thing is, they still pop up for me. And I think if you watch Will Zalatoris and Sepp Straka this last weekend, they're in the playoff. They are winning the golf tournament, the first tournament of the FedEx Cup. And you see the demons pop out, as good as they are. So that's kind of a whole mission in and of itself. Actually, that's the biggest mission in golf, is to gain the golf confidence and be able to keep your demons at bay. You probably know how to hit every shot, but these are self-imposed limitations, and it's the final frontier for me. So that being said, I want you guys to sign up for MSE TV, pick up the over-the-top Miracle Swing. A year membership is $99. That's just $8.33 a month. This will give you the technical ability to get to where you want to go. And now I'm adding more and more of the inner game, because that's the final frontier. I love you guys so much. Hit 'em long and hit 'em straight. All right, guys, that was a tasty little drive. So, as I mentioned, one of my subscribers had said that it doesn't look like I have an over-the-top swing, asked what is an over-the-top swing. And I periodically have to do this because it's a little bit confusing. So essentially, my over-the-top swing is where I take the hand path over the top of the backswing path. So let's watch this swing right here. So I put a little handle trace in there. Let's check this out a little bit closer. So I pick it up at P2 here. We start tracing the butt end of my golf club. You can see I have a very deep takeaway. I'm taking this club almost as far as I can to the inside. And this almost guarantees I'm going to go over the top. Can we see that? Now, I could literally swing the club back on this plane that I came down on and then swing under as I go to hit the ball. But what I do is I swing inside and over. I think we can see pretty clearly there. And the result is this, nice little power fade out there. Now I queued up another video, which is me hitting a draw, because I've had several people ask me, can you hit a draw with the over-the-top miracle swing? So let's take a look at this. That's a toe bomb right there. That is a nice high drive. So let's take this back and we're going to check out from P2 where I'm at. We pick up the action here. Once again, deep to the inside. And as I shift, I'm going to go over, get this club in front of me, and my path is slightly more from the inside out, we can see here. But as you can also see, I have nice clearance in my hips here through impact. I'm pressuring out of my lead leg to continue rotating. And I catch that ball slightly on the upswing into out. And that Pro Tracer is right on that ball. And that thing is nuked. So that's a nice 300-yard drive for sure with rollout. So at the end of the day, that's what we're looking at, is I swing inside over the top. It's not very visible at full speed. And the faster I swing, the closer the two lines get to each other. But it is definitely over the top, and this is the swing change that has changed my life. I urge you, go to myswingevolution.com, pick up the over-the-top miracle swing, and play the best golf of your life. Hit them long and hit them straight. Do you think you picked up some yardage since we've been working on this stuff?
On the driver, at least 50 to 60 yards.
It's dynamite.
It's crazy.
I want you to swing over the top. You heard me. Now hear me out.
My swing is feeling effortless with power.
Don't try to rebuild your swing if you're over the top. Learn to use it to your advantage. What do you notice about it?
It's just easy. It's just easy. I don't have a whole bunch of thoughts, just one. Just come inside, hit down.
Dropping it under causes pushes and hooks, and it almost ruined my back. When I started my swing evolution, I was a terrible golfer. Today, my channel has over 25 million views, and I even got to swing as Ben Hogan on the Golf Channel. Click the link below to experience your very own miracle. Transform your game at myswingevolution.com.